Hi everybody, welcome back to Rosie's Take. I'm here today with Leonard Jones, and he is really a legend in the area of worship and was with Morning Star for 20 years, and he is here in the Florida area for the next month. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Okay, good stuff. I'm just going to ask you a few questions. You know, a lot of people, throw around the term prophetic worship. What exactly is prophetic worship, and maybe what is it to you?
Well, it's partially music and partially words.
Okay.
There was a thing where in the Bible it talks about David prophesied on his instrument, and that's what drove the spirits out of Saul, was just playing music. That's one way of prophetic worship. The other way is actually to get a word from the Lord while you're singing, and actually singing out something that's not part of the lyrics.
Okay.
That might pertain to, somebody in the audience. It might pertain to what God is doing in the earth. It may just be a prophetic utterance of worship, just come forth.
Is it revelation?
It's usually, it's something that God is breathing on at the time.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's a little bit different. It's not as sanitized and as planned and programmed. What do you do with that? Sometimes a little bit messy. You don't know what's going to come next exactly.
Well, you actually can't. I've messed up before.
Messing up is okay?
Yeah. I think one time I had a picture of the Lord, the cloud and everything, and I sung out something like, just like the cloud and the cloud at night and the fire by day. And then I went,
you're like, wait a minute.
And I said, no, the fire by night and the cloud. So that was my prophetic word.
That was fun. Yeah. And you're like, I do read the Bible.
But the picture was, I saw the picture, and then I just sang it out of that picture, and
You just said it backwards.
Yeah.
Kind of like a little slip that we all do in regular life.
It was still prophetic. It got a good laugh.
We got a good laugh out of it. You got to not take yourself too seriously.
Right.
All right, well, you have classical training. And so how does that play into what you do?
Well, all my music theory I use in my writing and in my playing, all that kind of stuff that you learn in normal music school.
Well, listen, I cover a lot of country music and country music stars and different things like that. And so I was really happy to hear some of the flavor in your music.
Yeah, I write sometimes with a guy named Luke Skaggs, who's Ricky Skaggs' son. And his son and daughter, Molly Skaggs, both worked for me for about 4 years at Morning Star. So,
the bluegrass is there.
Yeah, you got bluegrass.
The flavor comes out.
Right.
So it's a little bit, and it goes everything from rock to worship sound to even the bluegrass. I mean, where do you place your music on the spectrum?
I don't know. I try to be creative.
Okay.
That's the main thing, is creativity, and so consequently I will delve into different styles. I'll delve into Indian music or Arabic music, or jazz, or classical. I've written symphonies, so I will go pull from symphonic pieces.
Can I just say this? You don't look like a guy who's writing symphonies.
I have.
Does that do people know that very much about what you do?
No, because I haven't written one in a long time. When I wrote one for the Jacksonville Symphony in Jacksonville, Florida. That was probably 30 years ago.
Okay.
And I've done scores and that kind of thing, for kind of like, not really movies, but plays kind of thing.
Good stuff. Okay, the Levite Praise Institute. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it's been in my heart. When I was at Morning Star, we had a worship school, and we raised up many people came through our worship school. John Mark McMillan, Kim Walker came through.
Wow.
Kalani up in Jacksonville.
So you launch people.
Yeah. But this new school is going to be a little bit more like a college, more like a music school.
Okay.
Still with an emphasis on worship, but actually really teaching the people the art of music, and so that's what that's about. It's not up yet. Me and Austin Beal we've been working on curriculum for the last 3 or 4 days.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, for you and what you do in this season of your life, what is your mission? I mean, what is your heartbeat and your assignment?
To change worship music.
Okay.
To mundane, to interesting, and into something that if I feel like we are spirit, soul, body, mind, the whole bit, and so much worship music that's out there right now, it only ministers to the spirit. It doesn't minister to the mind or the body or the soul. If you want your body ministered to, you go into a club. Mm-hmm. If you want your soul ministered to, you'll go hear, a great band at a concert or something.
Right.
If you want your mind ministered to, you'll go to a symphony.
Right.
Or something like that. And I just feel like, when you minister to the whole body, mm-hmm. everything that we're made of, that it's a whole different kind of worship. And that's my goal, is to release that in the church. And in worship teams, I go around, train worship teams all over the country, all over the world, actually.
So you want to change it, and when you say change it, you do a different expression?
To non-creativity to creativity.
Okay.
I'm not trying to teach them my style. I'm trying to teach them to be creative.
Okay. Creative in the moment.
Yeah, and in their, whatever their idiom is.
Okay.
Teaching them how, so that they don't, so they're not copying each other.
Okay.
So that really that this church would have its own sound. Mm. Your church would have its own sound. My church would have its own sound. So that you're not copying me, I'm not copying you. Now, financially, that's not usually a very good thing for record companies.
It's not commercial.
They don't like that.
Okay.
Record companies want something that, you can package and
mm-hmm.
sell to this church and that church. But what it's created is this sound that is, it's very uninteresting.
It's very different. When you say that, prophetic worship, it ministers to your, you want it to minister to the body, the soul, the spirit. Can you give me an example of a time where I've heard that people get healed, and like mm-hmm. you said, David, the demons left him, right. Left Saul when he sang.
I've had many people say, I have a violin CD, it's just violin and piano, and a lady that works at a psych ward, she said that before they would feed the people, everybody would be agitated. Mm-hmm. And get, everybody's kind of, because they're all kind of on drugs and stuff anyway. And they would put this violin CD on, and everybody would just calm down. So it took that agitation out mm-hmm. of them. And it's good music. It's all spontaneous. There's something about just spontaneously coming something out. It comes out of your spirit, comes out of your, it's a cross between your spirit, your soul, your mind, and your body all together working at one when you play, like that. And it really does something. And so that's, I've done 4 albums like that, CDs like that.
Spontaneous worship.
Spontaneous, yeah.
And do you see that as kind of the same thing as soaking music, that I hear that term?
Yeah, it's very soaking.
Okay. Because I see here on, this is the Worship and Warfare CD that you did when you were
That is not soaking music.
This is not soaking music. This is, but at the end there is the spontaneous worship song.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so that means that when you were in that moment, that you wrote it and you sang it creatively, it wasn't a lyric that had been written down before. A lot of people are interested in it, and it's something that is, you've really been a forerunner mm-hmm. in that area. Would you agree?
Yeah, because not many people have done it, before me. I've been doing this for like 40 years.
Well, how did you transition from all of your classical training to a prophetic worship?
It's basically, you just start, play by ear. You just play, you hear something, and then you play what you hear. Mm. A lot of times I don't know what I'm going to play, I just put my finger down. And then from there, I know what the next note is. So, and that just comes from, I practice my scales all the time. I practice my arpeggios all the time.
Okay.
Every day.
Every day?
Yeah.
So practice does make perfect. or perfect practice. I don't know. I don't know.
Practice is worship for me. So.
Good stuff. Well, thank you so much for being with me today. I want to ask you too, where can everybody go online and find your stuff?
Well, right now, I mean, I have websites, but there's not a whole lot of them not on there right now. They can just find me on Facebook.
Okay.
Just Leonard Jones Facebook, and I usually have my itinerary, and they can, order stuff there.
So for the next few weeks, as this goes out, people can look to see you in Florida.
Yeah, I'll be over in Stark. I'll be up in Stark, Florida. Monday, and this weekend I'll be over in Sarasota, Florida, for 2 days doing a burn with a guy named Sean Foyt, and then I fly up to Detroit and do something up there, and then I fly back down to Fort Lauderdale, and I'm doing a conference in Fort Lauderdale in March. I think it's like the 9th or the 10th of March, and they can go online. Actually, that's a Rick Joyner. I'm meeting up with Rick Joyner down there.
Good stuff. So it's like a little reunion there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good stuff. All right, everybody. This has been Rosie's Take with Leonard Jones.